Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Edward Joseph, and let's talk live. Addressing the lies Pastor Valerie Carroll is saying. All right, let's talk. Well, today, peoples, has been such an interesting day. I am here, I am live, and I am going to talk about some things, peoples. Peoples addressing the lies that Pastor Valerie Carroll is saying. You guys come on in. You guys come on in. You guys come on in, for there's so much to talk about, peoples. You guys come on in. Peoples, I have decided that I was going to come alive and come and address some issues that I was having with a friend of mine's of the name of Pastor Valerie Carroll. Now, I didn't want to do this, peoples, but I think it's time to put an end to the madness. This is the fastest and quickest way that I can be able to address this issue and put it behind me because, people have a misconception. And people's misconception is that you're supposed to be subservient to the pastors. You're supposed to listen to the pastors. Whenever the pastors speak, God is supposed to be speaking through them. But let me tell you, peoples, God doesn't always speak to the so-called preachers and pastors. God doesn't always do that. God is not the author of confusion. And that's one of the things that the people need to learn and understand. Just because you have a title, just because you call yourself pastor, doesn't give you the right to go ahead and disrespect another human being. Now, let me give you the scenario based upon what I have encountered while on my cruise. No, I didn't want to do this, people, but she forced my hand. She really forced my hand. And because she forced my hand, and people, please do not text me while I am live. People on Facebook, please do not text me anything while I am on live right now. So refrain from texting me while I'm live. So now I am going to give you the scenario and what exactly happened on the cruise. I'm going to give you the scenario of exactly what happened on my way down to the cruise. And I'm going to put a video together, people, so you guys can be able to see all what has happened while I was on the cruise. But I wanted to go back to this post and I wanted to address some things because the one thing that I don't want to do is I don't want to have this elevated and escalated to any type of degree because, again, I love Pastor Valerie Carroll. I have no hard feelings towards certain things, but I got to stop the lies. I got to speak my piece based upon my interactions with her, based upon what I have witnessed myself and things and stuff. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it, people. So I'm just not going to sugarcoat it and stuff. I think it's time now to start addressing these people and start to put these people in their place before it totally gets out of hand. Because see, misconception and misinformation will lead to degradation. It impacts other people that I know, and it impacts other people in her family that I know. And I want to set the record straight so then everything can be crystal clear. And then we don't have no issues. Do you understand what I'm saying, peoples? That's the last thing I want is issues. I don't want issues. I don't want issues with Pastor Carroll. I don't want issues with her family. But I think that her family needs to understand some things that has taken place. And so when you have a greater understanding, then everything becomes all right. See, you don't you only listen to a certain person and they will give you what they want to say. They will address everything and they will say what they want to say to bolster their claim. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so it's always not right or appropriate because they're all in their feelings. And so take the feelings out of it. We're not dealing with feelings, people. We're dealing with respect here. We're dealing with a situation that has happened while I was on vacation with my so-called friend. Now, let me put it in perspective, people, the way that I had saw it, because nobody can tell the story other than me. She has her story and I have mine. And then after I tell the story, then you guys come and you guys can make the assessment as to what it is that you chooses to believe. And then after which I'm going to leave it alone. But I'm not going to leave it alone until I address this because it needs to be addressed. And it needs to be addressed so all of you goddamn pastors and preachers and ministers and evangelists and things out there and stuff, people are not going to take your shit. You know, you can be called by God, but God doesn't endorse mess and madness and confusion. It doesn't give you a right to go ahead and disrespect people. See, the same God that blesses her is the same God that blesses me as well. Because I am a minister. I'm not a pastor. I am a preacher and I am a minister. And I am blessed. I am anointed and I am appointed. And so I just wanted to get the record straight because preachers and pastors are human beings as well. And they're valuable creatures. And see, just because you have a title doesn't entitle you to disrespect people. Do you understand what I'm saying? See, God will chastise that ass too. You know? Yeah, he'll protect you, but he'll chastise your ass too. And especially when you're wrong. And she was wrong. Now, here is what exactly happened. We planned this trip almost 2 years ago. Last year, I was supposed to go on this cruise with Pastor Valerie Carroll and her brother-in-law. I was supposed to go on the cruise. Last year, I was in a major accident. And it prohibited me from going on the cruise. People know that I was in a major car accident. And I got hurt as well as my son got hurt and things. And we have been recovering ever since. And so then we decided that we were going to plan it again for this year. Now, bear in mind, Pastor Valerie Carroll has cancer, okay? Don't use your situation as an excuse to get away with the various things that you do. Now, I just wanted to point that out, and I'm going to address that in a moment because then you'll understand and you'll see why I said that. Okay, she has stage 4 or stage 5 cancer. They gave her up last year, but God has blessed her, and this year she's still living. Blessed be to God. So while she has stage 5 cancer, I have been in a major accident. So we both are recovering. Do you understand what I'm saying? She's hurt. I'm hurt. She has terminal illness. I have eternal injuries. Internal injuries. Okay. So we both hurt. All right. So we planned this. We planned this vacation to go to the Caribbean islands. We did it last year. It didn't happen. So we did it this year and it happened. Okay. So in the midst of going through all of that, peoples, I had to go through hell and hot water because I had to deal with a person who's controlling, a person who likes to tell you what to do, a person who likes to treat you like a child. And far be it that I'm no child, peoples. I am a grown man with grown children, a couple of them, and one that's not grown yet. And so I've dealt with this shit for quite some time, peoples. I dealt with this shit for quite some time. And so I tried to be as understanding. I tried to be as compassionate that I can possibly be. But, at some point in time, you can't be understanding to people who is controlling. So we got through all of that. We got the arrangements and things and stuff. Her brother-in-law did not have money. Okay. So by the good graces of me, I had purchased the room and he was supposed to pay me back. Well, that never happened. But I paid for the room. And so if I'm a villain, peoples, I wouldn't have paid for the room for him to have room and board to come down to the cruise and enjoy himself because I paid for the hotel accommodations. While down there, my card had ended up getting commandeered. And people had ended up ordering things off my cart when I came to this hotel that she had recommended. Now, bear in mind, I wouldn't have stayed at that hotel. While we're at the hotel, her heater wasn't working. She had to sleep in a cold room. They gave us a room with one bed. I don't sleep with a man. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't sleep with a man. So I'm kind of like, wait a minute. I made reservations, and when I made reservations for two beds, not one bed. So in the midst of all of that chaos and confusion and things like that and stuff, because the hotel was subpar. I mean, I wouldn't have stayed there if my life depended upon it. But I mean, I had no clue what the hotel was like and things. I wouldn't have never stayed there. That's just being honest. But I had no choice because we've already booked the rooms and stuff, and we was already out there and we was already at the hotel. So a lot of things has happened and whatnot, but I didn't complain to the degree that she did. Okay. I didn't complain. All right. So we worked it out. I slept on one side of the bed. He slept on the other side of the bed. We had pillows in between us and, it was cool. It was no funny business or anything like that. And so by morning time comes, they go and then they give me another room with two beds. All right. So it was good. So they had rectified my situation. They gave me free breakfast and everything and whatnot. But even still, I didn't consistently complain about my situation. But she complained about the situation over and over and over and over and over again, all day, all night long. And I got tired of listening to the bullshit and madness. So, I literally distanced myself because I didn't want to hear the complaints. I didn't come down to Florida to listen to somebody complain about situations. Get over it. Things happen. Get over it. But no, she complained. We went out to dinner. She was on the phone with her friends and whatnot, her uncle, somebody and stuff. So I got on and I was on the phone with my friends to let them know, what the time that we're having. She gets mad. Well, you need to get off the phone. Get off the phone for what? Because we're here and That's disrespectful. We come way down here, you're on the phone. Well, God damn it, let's put it in perspective. You fucking complained all day long. From the time we got on the airport until the time that we got to the hotel. You think I wanted to hear your shit? And so you get mad at me because I'm on the phone with my friends? I didn't want to talk to you because I knew anything that I say, you were going to ramp it up, and I didn't want to ramp it up because I know how I am. I got an attitude, people. When you come at me a certain way, I'm going to give you the same energy that you come to me. You can't talk to me and you can't tell me what I can do. I'm a grown fucking man. And so when you come at me that way, I'm going to come after you the same way. And then when I come after you, it's not going to be pretty. So I just kind of bypassed that a little bit. When she finally found out who I was talking to, then she went on with the conversation because I had them on speakerphone. But wait a minute. You wanted me to get off the phone. So why are you conversing with them now, since you know who they are, but yet you wanted me to get off the phone? Okay, so that's the first instance, peoples. So I'm already hyped up and things because, one, I paid for the room. He didn't have no money. I paid for the room. So I wanted Sylvia Faye to understand, my sister, which is her sister. I want you to understand, love, I paid for the room. Your sister never told you that, did she? Your sister never told you I paid for his room. It was by my good graces that he had a room, that he had a place to stay. Because if I was this villain, as she's trying to project me to be, well, then his ass would have been out and sleeping in a lobby or somewhere and stuff. But I didn't do that. So I want to get that straight, Mel. I want to get that straight. So you have a greater understanding. So when your sister comes to you with all of this bullshit and nonsense, you'll clearly understand what my stance is and where I'm coming from. Sylvia Faye Scott, because I love you dearly. You're my sister. I love Pastor Carroll dearly. She's my sister. But when you are wrong, you are wrong. Okay? So these are the things that you did not know, that she did not tell you, that even Oliver did not tell you. I'm telling you. Okay, so now we get to the ship. Oliver doesn't have his birth certificate. I have my birth certificate, but my birth certificate was in my luggage. And the people said, you can't get on the ship without a birth certificate. I said, well, the guy told us that all we needed was just our government ID, our real ID. They said, no, you need a birth certificate as well. I said, well, my birth certificate is in my luggage and my luggage is on the ship. So, you know what? I said, let me speak to a manager. And so I explained to the manager what happened and things. He said, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. And he took care of it. And we was able to get on the ship. Okay, y'all hold on for a moment. All right, people, I'm back. So the manager took care of it, so we was able to get on the ship and things. Now, provided that we get on the ship and things, she's still complaining. Just every little thing, she's still complaining. Just complaint after complaint. And I got tired of it. So, I literally just segregated myself from her because I didn't want to hear the complaints no more. I didn't come way down to Florida to be on the ship for 7 days to listen to complaints. Okay. So I didn't want to listen to the complaints. So I segregated myself, you know. So the only time that we will really meet up is for dinner. Now, bear in mind, she has a drink package. Now, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs and all like that. So, you know, with the drink package, you can get free sodas, you can get free cocktails and all like that and stuff. All right, so she has a drink package, so she tries to levy the drink package over her head and things. I asked her to buy me a virgin strawberry daiquiri. She did. It didn't cost her nothing. You know, all she had to do is just sign for it and stuff. It didn't cost her nothing. All right, so she did that. So we get there, and we're at dinner. Bear in mind that on that day the cruise ship was celebrating the 70s. So I came in with my 70s glasses at dinner. It's nostalgia, peoples. It's a cruise ship. You do things like that. Miss all in her ass got pissed off. Take off those glasses. Why are you coming to dinner with those glasses? And I'm kind of like, whoa. First of all, wait a minute. Who in the fuck do you think you're talking to? And talking to me that way and stuff. You know? So I obliged her because I didn't want to ramp shit up. But I was irritated. So that's the first instance. So then this guy comes around, this African guy comes around, and he's like, shut. Woo! You know, and all like that and stuff. And I had asked him, where are you from? He said, I am from Africa. And I said, oh, okay. I said, I love your chant. I love your chant. And so then I did it as well. Shut. And she got pissed off at me because I did the same thing he did. But she didn't hear our conversation. Oliver is sitting right there, and she's sitting right across the table from me. And then when he goes away, she gets mad and she says, well, I don't like what you did. I don't like the fact that you're mocking him. And I said, well, I wasn't mocking him. I was just only sharing that of what he had done. I was sharing in his festivities and things. And then she said, no, you're mocking him. And then she tries to give me a lecture as about what it means to be mocking people. And I said, ma'am, I said, look, we're on the cruise ship. I don't want to get into it with you. So leave it alone and let it go. Let it go. Oh, no, she couldn't let it go because her feelings was hurt. There was two girls that was sitting on the side of us. And then there was a guy and a girl that was sitting on the other side of us. And she's Pastor Valerie Carroll. How dare he sit here and tell me to let it go? I am Pastor Valerie Carroll, and I'm going to admonish this man, and I'm going to say what I have to say. And so I kept on, and I kept on, and I kept on, and I kept saying to her, I said, Pastor Valerie Carroll, I said, let it go, ma'am. I don't want to get into it with you. And I told you I wasn't mocking him. I was celebrating him. And then she said, don't talk to me that way. And I said, what do you mean don't talk to you that way? I said, I can talk to you any type of way that I want to. I said, I'm a grown fucking man. And if you don't like it, I don't give a fuck. And then she said that, well, if you keep talking to me that way, I'm going to throw this water on you. And you guys, anybody who knows me knows I'm not going to back down from no good fight. And I'm not going to let nobody tell me what the fuck I can say or what the fuck I can do. And so I got louder and I said, I wasn't mocking him. That's just how I did it. She got pissed off. She threw the water on me. and I was drenched from head to toe, and everybody's in the whole area is looking at me. My pants is wet, my shirt is wet, my face is wet, my hair is wet, everything is wet. And she's sitting up there smiling. Like I told you, you should have let it go. And so you know what I did? I had a lobster tail with some rice and butter. And I took the plate in my hand and I threw it directly in her face. And all of that butter and lobster tail and rice and everything got all over her face, all over her outfit, all over everywhere. And I just sat there and I looked at her. And she was shocked because she didn't think that I was going to do anything. So she literally swiped the plate off the ground and the plate broke. And the people, everybody was shocked because everyone's like, wow, you know, what just happened here? And so then security came, and then, you know, the waiter and everybody came and stuff. And they asked me what happened. I said, the plate fell. And I said, can I get another plate so I can go to my room? So she got up, she's brushing herself off. She's all in her feelings and, you know, all like this. How dare he throw his plate at me? Well, damn it. How dare you throw your water on me? Whether I was mocking the man or not was left up to interpretation. But even if I was mocking him, it wasn't in her position to try to correct me. That's number one. Number two, it wasn't in her position to throw the water on me. And so when she threw the water on me, I retaliated and I threw my lobster tail and rice in her face in butter. And it got all over her. And she was pissed. She was embarrassed, but she was pissed. And I didn't give a fuck. I didn't give a fuck. So, Sylvia Faye Scott, they did not ban me from the cruise ship. They gave me another plate, and I got up and I went to my room, my cabin, or whatever you want to call it on the ship. The very next day, they moved her to a different seating. And so the very next day, me and Oliver came back to the same table. I didn't say nothing to him. He didn't say nothing to me. I sat down and ate. And then that's when I had a conversation with the guy who was doing the shots. Had a conversation with him. And I had asked him, I said, were you offended by me saying what I said to you? He said, no. He said, I understood what you were doing because everybody does it. And I said, thank you. That's why I made that video. And so Oliver was right there, and Oliver heard everything that I said to the man and everything that the man said to me. And then I said, now you go back and you tell her what he had said. And he said, I'm not telling her nothing. And I said, that's fine. You know, that's fine. You ain't got to tell her nothing. But I know in my heart she was wrong for what she did. I don't give two fucks what you guys think. Because at the end of the day, she ramped it up when she threw the water on me. Had she not thrown the water on me, I would not have thrown my lobster tail with rice and butter on her. And then everything would have been fine. But because she is Pastor Valerie Carroll and she wants the ultimate respect, well, then she thought that I wasn't going to retaliate. But no. Bitch, you fucked up when you threw the goddamn water on me. That's where she fucked up. Now she's a bitch because she threw the goddamn water on me. She ain't no longer Pastor Carroll in my eyes. She's a bitch. And I tell you one thing, had her ass not been on that cruise ship and had she did it at the restaurant that we went to, I would have got up and hauled off in her ass, big time. Never mind being my friend, never mind being pastor, never mind being my so-called sister or whatever and stuff. No, is bitch, you fucked up and I'm going to beat your ass. Now, I know you ladies don't like that. I know you ladies don't like men hitting women, but when you fucking do what she did, you're ready for a good ass beating. Period. End of story. And I don't give a fuck who you are. Bishop, pastor, minister, evangelist, whoever the fuck you consider yourself. Cancer patient or whatever. Whenever you take it to that level to where you go and disrespect the person, all because you felt disrespected when you should have just mind your own fucking business and stayed the fuck out of mine, then this shit would have never happened. Do you understand what I'm saying? It would have never happened had she not threw the water on me. But because she threw the water on me, she escalated the situation, and whatever I did in retaliation was justified. And that's the point that many of you tend to fail to realize. You fail to realize the mistake that she made because, one, you can't fucking tell me what to do. I'm a grown adult. And so if you offended by what I did, who gives a fuck? Do you understand what I'm saying? Who gives a fuck? Because you can't tell a grown man what the fuck to do. If I wanted to mock the man, if I wanted to say whatever or do whatever, it is my prerogative. All you had to do is just excuse yourself from the table. I told the waiter and got me another seat, and then that would have cleared that. But because you, Pastor Valerie Carroll, with stage 5 cancer, who gives a fuck? Because it ain't about the cancer. It is about the principle of the matter. It's about what you did. And what you did was wrong. And you got your ass blasted with lobster tails and rice in your face with butter. And I bet your ass you will never do that shit again. Because, see, I help restraint people because had I hauled up on her ass on that cruise ship, then I would have been down in, whatever. And she would have too, because she assaulted me with the water. The water splashed all over me and the bottle hit my head. I mean, the glass hit me. Thank God that it didn't cause no bruise because, yeah, then I probably would have pressed charges. But I didn't want to escalate it no further than what it was. And so for her to go around and put out these rumors, well, they banned me from the ship. Bullshit, bitch. They didn't ban me from the ship. Because if they banned me from the ship, I wouldn't have been able to finish the cruise. Do you understand what I'm saying? And they got videos, and they don't have audio in the dining room. So you're stupid for telling your sister that. They don't record people's conversations. You stupid for that. You all the time embellishing situations to try to prove a point. And then you want to use your cancer as an excuse to get away with shit. I got tired of this shit. I got tired of listening to, well, I'm a cancer patient and I'm this and I'm that. Okay, who gives a fuck? Thank God that the Lord has allowed you to live this long and stuff. But don't use that as an excuse to be a bitch and go and try to put people in a certain place just because you feel disrespected. See, people, is way more to what happened and things, but understand, I got tired of the complaints. I got tired of listening to her complaining. The whole fucking time that we left and go up there, she complained. I got tired of that. I didn't come down to listen to nobody complain 24/7. You see? So I got tired of the complaints. So, you know, so after that, like I said, I went back the next day, I took the video. In the video that I'm about to play you guys, you will see the guy doing his thing. Shot, 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 shot. And, you know, all like that. And then you will hear the people in the background trying to do the same thing. Now, why did she get mad at them and throw the water on them? See, people's anything that happens, I can always prove my stance. You can't call me a villain when you fucking don't know what the fuck you're talking about because you're only getting one perspective. And I refuse to have her vilify my name in the community as being a villain that threw lobster tail and rice and butter upon a pastor, a cancer patient. No, 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 no. We're going to put it in perspective. And so when you see the video, Sylvia Faye Scott, then you'll understand where I'm coming from. You understand. I get it. She's your sister. Yes, you are supposed to protect her. You are supposed to stand up for her, but you're not supposed to protect and stand up for wrong. Your sister was wrong and she got everything that came to her. And it would have been more had we not been on that ship. I would have hauled off in her ass. And I didn't give a fuck. Now, you put yourself in my shoes, you put yourself in a situation, and then let's see what you would have said, and let's see what you would have done. You know your sister, as well as I know your sister. You know how your sister embellishes shit. You know how your sister all the time wants to use her cancer situation as an excuse to have being disrespectful to people. People are not going to bow down to your sister. And I'm not the one. I am Edward Joseph. And I let your sister know that day, bitch, you will never, ever do that shit again to me. I don't give a fuck what you say, because what you say don't mean shit. But when you want to take it to another level, now I'm going to ramp it up and I'm going to take it to another level. And then I'm going to express to you with certainty that I'm the wrong motherfucker to play with. Now, I'm not Minister Edward Joseph now. I'm just Edward Joseph right now. And I'm just telling you, it would have been a different story had we not been on that ship. I would have, cancer or not, I would have hauled off in her ass. And then, yeah, her brother-in-law would have gotten into it. And then I would have took a knife or whatever and busted his head as well. And then I would have got back up on her. And we all would have went to jail. I didn't give a fuck. Because the bottom line is, you keep your hands to yourself. Whether you're irritated or not, it doesn't give you a right to assault nobody with water in a glass. See, you forget that in order for the water to get on me, the glass has to be thrown as well. The glass was thrown. The glass was thrown. The water was thrown. The glass was thrown. And so she tried to embarrass me. So I took my plate of lobster tail and rice and butter, and I threw it right in her face. Now, you guys can say that I'm wrong. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Cancer patient or not, it ain't had nothing to do with cancer. It had everything to do with respect. And just because she felt irritated and she felt that I was wrong because she thought that I was mocking a man, let me play the video. And in the video, you will hear the other people doing the same thing that I did. Now, were they mocking him? You decide. Let's go. Shut. That is my friend right there. That is my friend right there. Yeah. See? And now you heard the people in the background saying and doing what they were saying. So were they mocking him as well? Why didn't she get mad at them? You heard what the man said. Shut. And then you heard the people in the background doing the very same thing that I was doing. So were they mocking him? This was this whole incident, people. This is why she got mad. She got mad because she thought that I was mocking him, but the people in the background did the very same thing that I did. Why didn't she get up her ass and go over there and throw water on them and say, I don't appreciate you mocking him? This was this whole incident, peoples. Let me play this video again. See, when you put it in perspective, then you get a clear-cut understanding as to what taking place. And just because she felt that I was mocking a man, she felt that she had the right to tell me what the fuck I needed to do. And that's where you're wrong, because you couldn't tell me what I can do. So let me play the video again, peoples. Put it in perspective. This is the guy who came to our table with the shots. Let's go. Shut. That is my friend right there. That is my friend right there. Yeah. See? And now you hear in the background the people laughing. They're doing the and all like that and stuff. Well, why didn't she get up and why didn't she get up and go throw the water up on them? Now, as you can see the little silver thing right here, you can see the reflection and you can see what they're doing in the background, because that is her right there on the side. And that is him sitting right there. And that you can see in the reflection right here. See that? You can see in the reflection what they're doing. Okay, so let me see. I'm gonna see if I'm getting that right. Yeah, that's him. That's him, and then she's on the side right here. So just how they're sitting, she's sitting right across in front of me because I'm in the next seat. So he's in front of this chair, and I'm in the next seat, and she's right in front of me. And just as you can see in the background, the people in the background and how they're seated and stuff, and you can see, the dining room area and stuff. So you can see the chair. You can see the chair, the reflection in this table right here from behind me, the couch right here and stuff. We were sitting in the chairs. We wasn't sitting in the couch. So just how they're seated right here on the side, there was two ladies. There was two young ladies that I had met on the cruise that was sitting next to us. Y'all hold on. As you can see in the picture, there was two ladies that was sitting next to us. So just like the guy back here in the picture, in the video, and in the chair next to him, and then you see the young lady in the red jacket right there. That is just the distance between me and the other people. So two girls who I had met on the ship were sitting right next to us. So when I came in and I had my 70s glasses on, she got pissed off. So, I'm Pastor Carroll, take off those glasses and all like this. And I'm kind of like, whoa, slow your roll, baby girl. You coming off way too strong. This is the 70s. They were celebrating the 70s and things, peoples. And it wasn't nothing disrespectful about wearing the 70s glasses and stuff, because it's the nostalgia that you bring on the ship. It's the vibe, it's the camaraderie, it's the essence, it's the spirit that you bring up on a cruise ship, not to sit up there and be so fucking serious. So she hollered at me at that point and she made a big scene. I took off the glasses, but then I told her, I said, look, this is the 70s. They're celebrating the 70s on the ship. And I'm going to come and I'm going to celebrate. Yeah, but you don't need to be wearing the glasses right now and blah, 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 blah. But I defended myself. Because when she came and hollered at me, I hollered back too. But she didn't ramp that up, but she was already irritated because I wore the glasses. So now when this guy comes and shots and stuff, and he's doing his thing, I did the same thing. And then that's when she ramped it up, and, I don't appreciate you mocking a man. And several times I asked her to let it go. Let it go. I don't want to argue with you, Pastor Carroll. Let it go. She didn't let it go. She went on and went on and went on. So then, me, and I get loud. My voice get loud, and I got loud, and I got loud with her because I was irritated, because I said, now at this point, no. You went too far for telling me to take off the glasses. You went too far for telling me to get off the phone. You went too far for complaining the whole fucking time that we were coming to the cruise. I'm not going to take this now. So I told her I wasn't mocking him. She felt that I was. She felt that I was being disrespectful to her by saying the things that I said. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't give you no right to throw water on me. And so when she threw the water, I took that lobster tail with rice and butter, and I threw it right directly in her face and fucked her up. It's exactly what I did. Now, put it in perspective. So now you guys have the whole full scenario of how all of this stuff had transpired. And from the rest of the cruise ship, I didn't even... I seen her in passing, but I didn't say shit no more. I enjoyed the fuck out of myself on that cruise. I did everything. I went on all of the excursions. I went to all of the islands and stuff, and did everything that I needed to do. I didn't give a fuck. So now we come down to the posting, because her sister felt the need that she needed to say something to me. And I said, okay, all right. So I get it. But I'm going to come and I'm going to tell you what has happened, because you don't have a greater understanding, Mel. You don't have a greater understanding as to what happened. I know your sister is going to embellish shit and going to be saying a whole lot of shit to a lot of people and stuff, and trying to ramp it up. And just because she's a goddamn cancer patient, that now she's going to garner sympathy behind all of that shit. No, that wasn't going to happen. Not on my watch. No, that wasn't going to happen. Not on my watch. So, no. We're going to keep things in perspective. We're going to keep it on an even keel, and we're going to get a greater understanding as to what has happened. All right, so now let me share the postings, peoples. Because see, y'all just think that just because people got cancer, that people are supposed to bow down to the people who have cancer and shit. No, my heart goes out to her. It does. And I thank God that giving her grace and mercy and allowing her to live this long and stuff. But when you're wrong, you're wrong. When you are wrong, you are wrong. You know? And cancer ain't got shit to do with it. She's wrong, and I corrected the situation. She threw the water on me. I threw my lobster tail, butter, and rice on her. And I didn't give a fuck. All right? So now, here we are. Here is the posting. And I wasn't going to do this, people, but you know, because she just don't know how to leave well enough alone. Well, then I said, nah, I'm going to have to go ahead and I'm going to have to speak my piece and tell the people, because like I said, I don't want people to think that just because she has cancer that you know, I did something wrong. So this is what it says, people. I said, so I didn't want to say anything, but she prompted me to. My so-called friend, Pastor Valerie Carroll, acted and straight ass on the cruise ship. She complained the whole time. We were there. She got mad with me because she thought I was mocking our waiter. I told her I wasn't. I told her to leave it alone and to stop trying to treat me like a child. I raised my voice and she said, continue and I will throw water on you. I continued to tell her to leave it alone. So she got mad and she threw the water on me. So I took my plate of food and threw it right in her face. Fucking woman lost her mind. She has a controlling spirit. She learned that day that she couldn't control me. Fake pastor and a fake friend. I am so happy I didn't stay with her for the duration of the cruise. I would have been straight miserable. And then I said, people learn to worry about yourself and stop trying to tell people what to do. If you come at me in a manner in which she did, you will get handled. Period. Pastor or not, you're a sucker. And so her sister had made a comment. But this is not her sister. This is some of my friends, internet friends. I read it. Weatherspoon said, take a minute, but people will show you their true face. True enough. You're right. Usually on a Chronicle cruise ship, next time, cruise with truly like-minded people. Hope the rest is enjoyable for you. Yes, I read it. I have thoroughly enjoyed myself. So, trying to see where her sister had made the post. But I think this is all out of sync. But I'm just going to read it anyway, just the way that it's written. I said, and I'm just responding to her sister. Her name is Sylvia Faye Scott. I said, Sylvia Faye Scott, I love you dearly, but your sister was wrong, period. No justification for her actions. Now, you can stand with her if you choose, but I get it. But how would you feel if someone threw water all on you? exactly my point. You wouldn't like it. She couldn't control me nor tell me what to do, period. She complained the whole goddamn time we were there. I wasn't going to take her shit. All I ever did was be nice to her. I even drove her to her event in Bakersfield. So if you believe I don't have the right to call her out, you got to be kidding me. People need to grow the fuck up and admit when they are wrong, pastor or not. She didn't tell me, she don't tell me what to do, period. Now, peoples, I had taken my time out of my schedule to drive her way over to Bakersfield and then back to Stockton, and then I go back home. I didn't have to do it, but I did. And then there's on many other occasions. I videotaped her wedding. I videotaped a lot of the events that she had and shit like that, and so on and so forth. So I don't want you to get it misconstrued. I bent over backwards for this woman, but I'm not going to take her shit. I've listened. I have endured the scolding, the browbeating, the this, the that, the complaining, the all of that and stuff. I overlooked all of that and stuff because I had pity and sympathy for her because of her condition. But when she threw the water on me, all of that blew out the window. Cancer or not, pastor or not, friend or not, you fucked up. And when you take it to that level, now all bets is off. Now I'm going to treat you just like the bitch you are. Acted as. And you got exactly what you got. Period. Period. That's it, in the story. That's it. That's all. So I want you guys to understand what I have been enduring for years, knowing her, because she has a controlling fucking spirit. And she all the time thinks that she's right and that people need to be subservient to her and bow down to her. I am not going to bow down to nobody, period. I don't give a fuck who you are. Now, all of this is frustration because I'm just really shocked that her of all people did what she did. But knowing her, she'll never admit her wrong, but she will always use her cancer as an excuse to garner sympathy for people and stuff, because all of the ass kissers that surrounds her and shit, will be the ones who, oh, well, he's wrong and he's this. No, bitches, I'm not wrong. So let's get that straight. You motherfuckers can sit here and listen to a bitch ass pastor go ahead and embellish shit. But when you're wrong, you're a bitch. When you're wrong, you're wrong. Pastor or not, you're a bitch. That is a bitch move. You are a bitch. Now, Dad, I know you don't like me calling your daughter a bitch, but she's a bitch because that's a bitch move. Sylvia Faye Scott, I know you don't like me calling your sister a bitch, but that's a bitch move. She's a bitch for that. She ain't no pastor, because no pastor would be acting out in a manner to what she did. She took off that cloth. She took off that title when she did what she did. She ain't no pastor. She's a fucking bitch for that. So that's the way that it stands with me. And I don't give a fuck. And if this affects our relationship, oh fucking well. Because it's about time that somebody call your sister out for the shit that she's done. Now, I've endured this shit for years. I've listened to all of the goddamn complaints and everything. People's, I'm a straight shooter. I'm a straight shooter. I just keep it real and 100. I have a heart. I've done a lot for this woman. But it comes a time to when you have to say enough is enough. It can't be to where I'm wrong every goddamn time I have an encounter with her and she's right and she's justified in any and everything that she says. That's the misconception that you all have. So that's why I have shared a few little things with you and stuff to get you to understand that our relationship is a little deeper than what is being portrayed. And I have the utmost respect for her, but I don't respect people who disrespect me. Now, we have our verbal jousting and shit like that. But when you come to the degree to when you start throwing water on people, now you're taking it to another level. Now you're ready for an ass beating. And cancer and all of that shit goes out the window. Now you're ready to get your ass beat. Period. So this is what my friend, sister Betty McCullough had said. She said, Edward Joseph, I agree with you more than 1,000%. And then my friend Margot Gogo Fisher had said, on a cruise ship, dang, I'm sorry that you had that type, I'm sorry you had to experience that type of behavior. And then I replied to her, I said, Margot Fisher, it is one thing to be upset that this happened, but who is she upset with? Me? I think not. What she needs to do is check her sister and understand that she started this bullshit. I don't care if she was mad with me for thinking I was mocking the man. The bottom line is she don't control what I do, period. If I holler, scream, whatever the case may be, doesn't give her the right to throw water on me. And that's the underlining factor, peoples. And that's what I'm saying. I don't give a fuck what I did, what I said, or whatever. It doesn't give you the right to throw water on me. Okay? I said, I understand the need to protect her sister, but in this case, she needs to be admonished for her sister. She needs to admonish her sister for bad behavior. I don't know if anyone would have thought that was acceptable. She damn lucky we were on the ship. Any other place, I would have hauled off in her ass. Respect is earned and not given. And pastor or not, she was wrong. And if anyone thinks I was wrong for throwing my food in her face, then kiss my beloved ass. With that shit, I don't give two fucks if I don't ever speak to her again. The bottom line, and it's supposed to be, the bottom line in a situation like this is she is not above the law. Just because you think I am disrespecting you doesn't give you the right to throw water all over me. She better learn humility, because someone will tap that ass if she does that to the wrong person. Somebody had tapped that ass if she was to do that to somebody else. She's lucky that we was on the cruise ship. Because like I say, had it been at the restaurant, I would have hauled off in her ass. Period. Pastor, friend, whatever. I don't give a fuck. Cancer, whatever. They would have to take me to jail. But I was going to make sure that she will learn a lesson and never do that again to nobody. You don't do that, peoples. You don't disrespect people all because you feel disrespected. Now, understand, I tried to quell the situation. I tried to talk her down and talk the situation down. I tried. But you can't talk to a bitch that is hyped up, full on adrenaline, and thinking that she can just browbeat you and talk to you any type of way. That's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. And I know any of you in that situation wouldn't have accepted it, period. So don't give me this fucking shit that, oh, well, you need to turn the other cheek and all of that shit. No. When you're in the moment, peoples, you would have done the very same thing or probably even worse. So don't give me this bullshit that you're going to be holy and righteous and, oh, okay, well, that's fine. You threw the water on me. Let me get up and let me walk away. No bullshit. You're ready for an ass beating. Cancer, pastor, friend, or not, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Now, many of you may see me in a different light. I know Bishop is watching. I know my other ministers is watching. I know my other pastors and preachers and evangelists and everybody is watching. And y'all saying to yourself, well, your mother would have never raised you that way. Well, fucking shut the fuck up, because I don't even want to hear what you have to say. Because if truth be told, your asses would have did something of the similar, something of the same. So save me this bullshit. Many of you preachers and pastors and shit, you know, I can go on and on and on with the shit that I've seen with my own eyes. This is why I don't engage with many of you suckers, because you guys are just human, just like me. So save me this holy roll type of bullshit, because you're a preacher and pastor in the church, but then outside the church, you know, you're a totally different person. So don't sit here and try to admonish me for the shit that I'm saying or doing. God will chastise me. God will deal with me. You just shut the fuck up and pray for me and be done with. But God will deal with me. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I don't want to hear all of the preachers, pastors, and bishops and stuff coming to me and telling me X, Y, and Z, because you will get to cuss you. I will cuss you the fuck out. Period. I will cuss you the fuck out and tell you to go fuck somewhere. Be done with. And I don't give a fuck if you don't talk to me, if you don't call me, you don't text me on, and I don't give a fuck if I don't have no other communications with you. I don't give a fuck. Because see, the thing is, peoples, when you are in a situation like this, everybody wants to come holier than thou. And everybody wants to invoke spiritual and they want to invoke scriptures and things like that and shit. Well, where in the fuck are you when I was going through? Your ass didn't call. Your ass don't keep up with me. Your ass don't check in up on me. You don't say shit. It's not until situations like this when you want to come and you want to go and show your face in the place and stuff, and then thinking that, okay, well, I'm bishop this, or I'm pastor this, and all like this, and I'm here to say today, fuck that shit. Just keep your ass where you are, deal with your goddamn congregation, speak to them, and let it be. You know, let it be. I've seen a lot in my days, peoples. And this is why, to keep the respect for the clergy, this is why I don't engage with a lot of them. Because a lot of these preachers are phony, fake, furious, and got attitudes. And I know I got an attitude, especially when you come at me the wrong way. I'll be the first to cuss your ass out in church, out of church. Don't give a fuck. Because like I said, peoples, respect is earned, is not given. It's earned. And if you respect me, I will respect you to the hilt. But if you don't respect me, well then shit, I ain't gonna respect you. And that's just it. You know, it is what it is. I ain't gonna lose my religion. I ain't gonna be propelled to hell and stuff, all because I'm telling you what I feel and stuff. We all are human. God knows my heart. He knows I have no ill intentions, no ill will in things. I love her dearly, but she needs to be checked. Period. And you guys don't understand and know how I bent over backwards for her ass. And then to come and be vilified in the manner to which I am and shit. So you know what I say? I say fuck you and fuck your friends. Fuck all of them. Because what they're going to do is they're going to listen to her. They're going to be subservient. They're going to continue to keep playing on. She's going to continue to keep playing on this cancer shit and stuff. And then have everybody feel sorry and whatnot. And then I be the villain. No, fuck that. Fuck that. I had to come and I had to defend my name and I had to defend my honor. Because if we're going to put the truth out there, let's put the fucking truth out there. If we're going to talk about Edward Joseph, let's talk about Edward Joseph and put the fucking truth out there and tell the world all of the shit that I have bent over backwards for your ass and shit. Don't try to piece in other shit that ain't got shit to do with this situation. And I'm leading up to that, peoples. Because it's something that her sister had said that I'm going to address. Now, I said, right. That is all I tried to convey. Whether she felt I was mocking a man and she got upset behind my actions doesn't give her the right first to try and correct me. And it doesn't give her the right to throw water on me. She feels disrespected that I hollered at her. Give me a break. I tried to squash the situation many times before it got to that point. I kept telling her to leave it alone and let's enjoy our evening. No, she kept ramping it up, stating, I don't like you mocking the man. Who gives a fuck? I am a grown man. I can say or do what I please. The man wasn't bothered by what I did. I am going to post a video here, and in the background, you will hear others doing the same thing I did. What, is she going to throw water on them for what they are saying? Now, this is what her sister, Sylvia Faye Scott, has said. You know that the cruise has security footage with audio, right? Check your story before it's proven absolutely wrong. Rumor has it you are no longer allowed on Carnival for a reason. My husband missed you in Vegas. Oliver missed you too when departed too. And so now this is when I had to speak to my sister because I love Sylvia Faye Scott to death. This is my sister. And she had a daughter and I loved her daughter just like if she was my own. I was going to Vegas to celebrate her 21st birthday. But see, because Pastor Valerie Carroll and Oliver had came back and told her a bunch of lies, I had to come on and I had to address this. One, yes, they have security footage. Two, they're not recording all of the people's conversations in the area to where we was dining at. They don't do that, peoples. And if security ever thought that I was a threat or she was a threat, we would have been in jail on the ship. That didn't happen. So so the rumor has it that I'm not allowed on Carnival Cruise. Well, if that would have been the case, well then, first of all, it would have to have been an incident that was escalated. It would have to have been an incident to where they would have literally gave me papers and said, look, you're not allowed on the ship. So fuck the rumors because I got off the ship. She got off the ship. I'm home. She's home. I enjoyed the rest of my cruise. I don't know what the fuck she did. So all of the rumors, it's just that. It's just rumors because it ain't no validity to the stupidity. Because I have already shown you the video footage and what the man had said. So save me with all of the bullshit. When you say that check your story before it's proven absolutely wrong. No, Sylvia Faith Scott, you check the story. And then you check your sister. The fucking bitch that sits up here and likes to embellish shit. Because her story is absolutely, unequivocally, and undeniably false and it's wrong, baby girl. It's false and it's wrong. So get that shit straight first and foremost before you ever come on my channel and address me in the manner to which you did. Your sister was wrong. Period. She was wrong. Period. So that's where it stands. That's where it stands. She was wrong. And then as far as me being in Vegas with you guys, your sister told me she did not want me to be around her. She did not want to speak to me. She didn't want to have nothing to do with me. And after all of the shit that I have done for her throughout the years, this is the thanks that I get. And then I'm being lied upon for no apparent reason. Now, let me tell you the incident because this is what she's going to say, because this is what she's going to put out and stuff. And let me say this. We had a credit of $50 and stuff. $25 for me, $25 for Oliver. Now I had booked the excursion, and when I booked the excursion, I did not realize that they took his credit for my excursion. They took his credit. They took his $25. So before she goes and make a big issue out of that, I gave the man the money back on the cruise ship. Okay? So it ain't no big deal. It ain't no big deal, you know? And then two, it shouldn't be no big deal because I paid for his room. So when you want to go and try to make that, well, he took his credit. I wasn't aware that they had used his credit for my excursion. I wasn't aware. So she's trying to make it seem like, well, you're a big liar because you took his credit. We had to go down to customer service and get it all straightened out and stuff. Well, I did not know until they told me. And then when they told me, I kindly reimbursed him his $25. It was no big issue with me. You make a big issue out of nothing. But did I make a big issue about paying for his room? When I could have let his ass sit out there? When I could have let his ass sit out there in the lobby? No, it was no issue, peoples. What is the big issue? It's no issue. But you make issues out of nothing. He got his money back. I'm still out of the money for the room that I paid for him to sleep in. But I'm not tripping because I did it out the kindness of my heart. But that doesn't get expressed. What gets expressed is that I'm being disrespectful. I did this, I did that, and she's right with everything. No, that's not going to happen, people. That's not going to happen. So, Sylvia Faith Scott, You said check your story before it's proven absolutely wrong. Well, God damn it, I proved myself right, Mel. And I proved your sister absolutely wrong by her behavior. Because if you're going to endorse that type of behavior, well, then we don't need to be brother and sister. You know, I don't need to be around people or with people who's going to endorse people who's going to treat people whatever type of way just because they're in their feelings. Your sister is wrong. And she can't even admit that. Had she admit that and not tried to ramp it up in her group, then I would have never did this. But I wasn't going to let it go because, you know, she's spreading all of this rumors and stuff, trying to make it seem like I'm a bad person, and I'm not a bad person. And then two, for the event of your daughter in Vegas, she told me that your daughter made other plans. Now, I spent all of this money to go ahead and get the room for the whole weekend. And I was going to bless her with some money and stuff. I was going to come down there. I even bought a special outfit at Macy's just for her event. But how in God's name do you think that I was going to be able to go down to Vegas to go to an event that she said that she wasn't going to be at? That's number one. Number two, how do you expect me to go down there and it's just only us, me, you, Pastor Valerie Carroll, and your husband? And this has happened, and you think that I would have felt comfortable being around Pastor Valerie Carroll? And after all of this has happened? So do you blame me for not coming to Vegas? Come on. One, your daughter wasn't going to be there because that's what Pastor Valerie Carroll told me. Two, the incident that happened. So do you actually think that I was going to be comfortable being in Vegas, being around you and your husband, and she has the feelings that she has towards me? No, that wasn't going to happen. I was keeping the peace. I was keeping the peace. So that's exactly why I didn't come. So, you know, you keep the peace. So I kept the peace. So this is why, people, I went and did the various things that I did to go ahead and express to the people that of what I am saying. Because I wasn't going to allow her to go ahead and put my name out there that I'm messing with a cancer patient and stuff, and I did this, I did that, and so on and so forth. No, that's far from the truth, peoples. I have the utmost respect for my friends, my family, my loved ones. But when you fuck up, all of that goes out the window. Now, this is my response to Sylvia Faye Scott. I said, I don't care about rumors. You wasn't there, so rumors will not settle for me. I know what I said, and I know what happened. Your sister is a fucking liar. She the one who started the shit. Had she learned to control her temper, then none of this would have ever happened. I don't disrespect people. I mean, I don't respect disrespectful people. She thinks people needs to bow down to her. I didn't. It is not reason for me to say what I said if it didn't happen in the manner to which I stated. I will post a video of the guy doing his chant on this post you will hear what he did. And in the background, you will hear others doing the same. So before you ever address me, get the facts straight. You can't tell me what I said. And if I was mocking a man, who gives a fuck? It is not in her place to correct me. Understand that. Pastor or not, I am a grown man and I can do what the fuck I want to do. I get it. You're supposed to stand up for your sister. But how in the hell can you stand up for someone who is wrong? And that's the point that I'm trying to make. She will never admit that she's wrong. It would have never happened had she not threw the water on me. I don't give a fuck what I was saying, and what I was saying. It doesn't give you no right to throw water up on anybody, period. And that's the point that I'm trying to make. Had she not threw the water, I wouldn't have been making this post. Had she not got into her feelings, I wouldn't have been making this post. Had she not ramped it up, I wouldn't be making this post. Period. Your sister has ways of embellishing the truth. Who wants to be around someone who is miserable and complains all day long? People's Sylvia Faye Scott, you wasn't there. I've listened to the complaints all day, all night, fucking long. If it didn't happen, I wouldn't be sitting here saying it. There's no reason for me to sit here and lie about your sister about something that she supposedly didn't do. Everything I'm telling you, she did. That's why I'm telling you it. Okay, where am I? I said, yeah. Your sister has ways of embellishing the truth. Who wants to be around someone who is miserable and complains all day long? She did that the whole time we were there. And to think I was going to be subservient to her because she had a drink package? Hell no. That is why I drank water. I didn't want to ask her for shit. Let me remind you, I paid for Oliver's room. I didn't have to do it, but I did. So if I wanted to be a jackass, then his ass would have been sleeping in the lobby. She didn't tell you that, did she? Hell no. Also, security was there. So if things were to the degree of me not being able to cruise again, I wouldn't have been able to enjoy the rest of the cruise. So understand the facts and stop listening to rumors. And as far as the event you had, you know, in my heart, I wanted to go. But how do you expect me to go when this happened? She said she didn't want to ever talk to me again. So me going there and the feelings she had towards me would have been awkward. She would have ramped it up there. So to keep the peace, I came home. Furthermore, she told me your daughter wasn't going to be there, that she made other plans. So don't use that as an excuse to that of what your sister has done to me. Remind you, I took my time to drive her to Bakersfield for an event. I didn't have to do that, but because of the love I had for her, I did. I can go on with all of the things I have done for her that never gets expressed. I will never be the villain in this situation. Your sister needs to learn respect before it is ever given to her. Being a pastor doesn't give you the right to disrespect someone. The same God that blesses her blesses me as well. So let's get the facts straight. Your sister doesn't control me. I am a grown man with children. She can't tell me what to do. I tell you one thing. Had we not been on that ship and she done that to me, I would have hauled off in her ass. She doesn't reserve the right to lay hands, throw water on anyone just because she feels disrespected. And I think That is the point that you are missing. And then there's the video. And then I said, finally, this is the video of the guy doing his chant that Pastor Valerie Carroll got mad with me about. Now, people can hear others in the background doing the same thing. Are they mocking him? No. I even asked him, was he offended by what I have done? He said, no. He understands my intentions. So when Pastor Valerie Carroll saw what I was doing, she got offended. Why didn't you get offended and throw water on the other people who were doing the same thing I did? See, peoples, I can always prove my stance. Never let rumors be the deciding factor when you have facts to prove your stance. And that is the crutch and the essence of this live, peoples. I wanted to tell Pastor Valerie Carroll, because I know she's listening, and she sent me a text message and stuff through the chat and stuff. She has my number, unless she blocked it or whatever. I don't give a fuck. But Pastor Valerie Carroll, I love you dearly, ma'am, but you're wrong. And being a pastor and having stage 5 cancer doesn't give you the right to disrespect people. It doesn't. And whether you're offended by what I said, what I called you out your name or whatever, I don't give a fuck, because what you did was egregious. Now, I forgive you. I have no ill wills towards you, nor Sylvia Faye Scott, nor Oliver, nor any of your family. So, I would appreciate it that we halt all communications. I have nothing more to say to you. I have nothing more to do with you. Go ahead and be blessed, live your life, and do what you do. That's it. That's all. That's all that I have. You know, that's all that I have. I have nothing more to say until you apologize to me, and until you acknowledge, first and foremost, you were wrong. We're not going to twist this situation around and I apologize to you for anything that I said. I'm saying it because what you did, and I feel justified in saying everything that I said and doing everything that I did. And until you apologize, until you find it in your heart, until the Lord puts in to where you can acknowledge that you were wrong. You were wrong. You were wrong. Until you acknowledge that, you have nothing else to ever say to me. I'm going to edit your video. I'm going to send you your video, and that's going to be that. Don't call me for no other events, nothing. Until you apologize. And until that day comes, let me quote a scripture, people. So let me go here. Okay, let me go here. I had to call it up. So let me share this with you, and then I'm getting off, peoples. And I will deal with the Kanika Jenkins case at another time. But I had to come on, and I had to protect my integrity, because when you have a person who's dealing with stage 4 or 5 cancer, I don't ever want it to be said that Minister Edward Joseph have been so egregious, and I don't have a heart that I can't come to the degree to where I do something just such an egregious nature as throwing lobster tails in rice and butter on a pastor. I don't want that to ever get out that I'm just that type of person. I'm a terror tyrant in things. No, peoples, we put things in perspective. And when we put things in perspective, the Bible teaches us in all of that getting, we get an understanding. So you have to get an understanding, people. If you're ever going to address some situations, you got to get the facts straight first before you ever try to address things. Because see, you only get one side of the story, but there isn't my side of the story, and there is what happened to me. It's what happened to me, and so all of you can learn a life lesson from that of what I'm expressing today. She's a pastor, I'm a minister. Okay, what does that mean? We don't always act in a spiritual nature. We don't always do things that is conducive to what God wants us to do. We're human, we're flesh and blood, we're fallible creatures. And so you can take this experience and you can run with it. You can say whatever you want to say. You can do whatever you want to do. And so, but at the end of the day, if you were in my shoes, many of you would do the same thing. So save me the bullshit and nonsense. Save me the rhetoric. Save me for, coming and trying to admonish me. Because when you come at me like that, then I'm going to come at you with a foul mouth. You first have to understand what led up to the situation before you can understand the situation. And once you have a greater understanding, then and only then is when you can be able to chime out and say what you need to say. But I said what I needed to say, and I'm good. And so whatever happens after this moment, I really don't care. I emptied myself. I'm going to pray about it, and I'm going to go and I'm going to live my life. And whatever God has for me as chastisement, I'm going to accept it and embrace it wholeheartedly. Because 7 things God's hate, and the 7th is an abomination. And God is clear with this. Those who sow seeds of discord amongst the brethren. That's in his word. God hates that. God hates what I'm doing. And I'm going to get chastised for it. But that is okay. But God knows my heart. So even in my chastisement, God is still going to administer grace and mercy upon me, because my intentions wasn't that to defile her or debilitate her or humiliate her. It was just speaking what's upon my mind, not what's on my heart, because it's different from my heart. My heart still loves her. My heart still respects her. My heart still understands her. But my mind is something different. And that's why the Bible tells us men always need to pray. He said, let this mind be in you, which is also in Christ Jesus. Well, I don't have the mind of Christ right now. I don't. Because all of what I said, and now since it's on the internet, it's history. It's going to stay on here forever. You guys going to take this. You're going to run with it. You're going to do whatever. But let me warn you, peoples. Let me warn you. Before you go and start making parodies out of this video, you better be very careful how you treat this situation between us. Because we're both anointed and we're both appointed. And it's a skirmish between us that we have to deal with. Now she chose to go ahead and, say some things to her people and whatnot and stuff. And when that happened, then I chose to do it my way. Now, I didn't want to go and air all of this, but then I thought that, and when her sister had came and chimed in, then I said, nope, let me do the video and let me put it out crystal clear so I make it crystal clear. I'm human first before I am a minister. So I'm a fallible creature. I got flaws. I got hang-ups, I got heartaches, I got pains and things that I'm dealing with, got issues and stuff. But I have a good heart. And every member in the Bible that God used, they had flaws too. But God still used them. And so if she ever thinks that she doesn't have flaws, well, then she's kindly misguided. Because all it took was, brother, I'm sorry for what I did. And then none of this would have ever happened. But because her heart is the way that it is, and because her mouth is lippy in the manner to which it is, that's why this thing has escalated in the manner to which it did. Now, again, people, let me warn you. Let me warn you. Be careful how you treat the situation. Be careful how you treat the situation and stuff, because, I don't want any of you to suffer what we're going to suffer. And we're going to suffer it, people. Both of us. Neither one of us is exempt, because God has to administer his justice. And then we're going to be good. It ain't the end of the world. It ain't like, we're going to be portrayed to hell all because of this incident and things. But I just want you to be careful how you handle this, peoples. Because I know some of you got some bad intentions, and this is why some of you are going through what you're going through and stuff right now, because of your heart. I don't have a hardened heart, peoples. I just say what I need to say and stuff, and then I let it go. This is why many of you are in the situation that you are in right now. This is why many of you had left my chat. This is why many of you had left my live. This is why many of you don't communicate with me no more and stuff, because remember, you came, you did the things that you did, and then you left. And when you tried to bring me down, the Lord elevated me and he celebrated me, because he risen me above your madness. Every last one of you stupid sucker ass people that tried to bring me down, look at you now. You came and you left, but then you came back. Why you come back? Leave again. Doesn't really matter to me. I still got people who left and things for whatever reason and things. And I'm glad. Leave for your peace. Leave for your peace. Because your peace is not predicated upon what I say or do. Only the people who's real is going to rock with me is going to rock with me. And if you don't want to rock with me, goodbye. Sayonara. Maybe see you later, maybe not. I don't give two fucks. Live your life. Do what you do. I don't give two fucks. Because at the end of the day, peoples, I haven't did nothing to none of you. I want you to get that. I want to get that straight right now. Situations has arisen and things, and everybody is doing what they do is best for them. Well, then, what I say, peoples, do what's best for you. Do what's best for you. Do not be like Lot's wife and look back and be turned into a pillar of salt. Because when God moves you, he moves you forward, never to look back. So when you leave, leave and don't look back. And when you leave, leave and then don't come back. Leave. Leave, live your life, do whatever you want to do. I don't give two fucks. You owe me no explanation. None of you. None of you owe me no explanation whatsoever. I'm still going to be here. I'm still going to do what I do and stuff. I'm still going to do my lives. I'm still going to talk. I'm still going to act out and say what I need to say, do what I need to do, whatever. With or without you. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And if what I say applies to you, then you're the one who I'm speaking to. And if you're feeling some type of way and stuff, well, then that's good. You ain't never got to talk to me again because I owe none of you people nothing. Let's get that straight right now. I owe you nothing. I owe you no explanation. I owe you no apologies. I owe you nothing because I didn't do anything to none of you. I want you to understand that. I want you to know I love you. I love you with the love of Christ, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. But I want you to go and I want you to live your life. I want you to live your life the best that you can. Don't look back. You ain't got to have no more communications with Edward Joseph. I'm just a human. I got a little bit more time on this earth. Whenever the good Lord decides to take me, well, then I'm just going to be a figmentation of your imagination. And these lives is just going to be the very things that you're going to be able to see and have remembrance of me. So I might as well make my mark while I'm here. Because when I'm dead and gone, peoples, maybe I'll be like Kanika Jenkins and still be thought of. Maybe not. Maybe I'll still be talked about. Maybe not. I don't know. However you want to think of me, that's fine. But just as long as the good Lord thinks of me, that's all that really matters to me. Because I'm not here to try to make friends. And I'm not trying to make enemies either. I'm just trying to live my life. That's it. Trying to live my life. I'm done with trying to make friends. What do I need friends for when there's not a friend like the lonely Jesus? No, not one. No, not one. What a friend we have in Jesus. All sins and griefs to bear. What a privilege it is to carry everything to God in prayer. Oh, what needless pains we all forfeit. Oh, what needless pains we all bear. Oh, because we do not carry everything to God in prayer. What a friend we have in Jesus. And just as long as I have Jesus, peoples, I don't need you. Is that all right, peoples? That's what I want to leave with you, peoples. So whether you like me, whether you hate me, whether you talk about me, whether you adore me, it really doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't matter because, it's just like what Margot Go-Go Fisher had said. The people will show themselves. It's either Margot or Iretta Witherspoon. The people will show their true colors at some point in time in life. And when they show you who they are, believe them. Believe them, peoples. But believe them. When people truly show you who they are, believe them. Leave them and let them go. And then you go and you live your life in the manner to which you choose to live. But just make sure that you do God's will and not your will. Don't do what I do, peoples. Don't go and do what I do. I don't want nobody to do what I do or what I have done right now. I don't want you to do that. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't want you to do that. But this is what I want you to do, if you will. And then after this, I am going to depart from here, peoples. And let me share my screen, peoples. And this is what scripture says, peoples. And I believe this with you. And this comes from Galatians, peoples, the 6th chapter and the first verse. And it clearly reads like this. It says, brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such a one in the spirit of meekness, considering thyself, lest thou also be tempted. Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ. May the Lord have a blessing to the reading, hearers, and doers of his holy divine word, peoples. If you be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such a one in the spirit of meekness, considering thyself, lest thou also be tempted. So, my preacher, pastor friends, and family, and all of the ones who's going to watch this video and stuff, if you are spiritual, instead of talking about me, bring me back to the fold. Bring me back to what God would have me to do. See, that's a problem, peoples, because ministry comes with a price. Ministry is not sitting up here scolding people, talking about people, putting people down, talking about them behind their back and stuff like that. If you're a true minister of Christ, if you're a true child of God, well, then pray for me and take me back to the place where I first believed. Take me back, dear Lord, to where I first believed. Now, if this doesn't apply to you people, you ain't got nothing to say to me. If you're not spiritual, you don't have nothing to say to me. Because I don't need your rhetoric. I don't need your attitude. I don't need nothing from you. It ain't nothing that you can give me that God doesn't give. And that's why I don't depend upon man, because man will always forsake you. God will never reject you, but he will always stand to correct you. Is that all right, peoples? So peace, love, happiness, and joy, peoples. That's it. That's all that I had. It's not up on my heart. It's in my mind. I expressed what's on my mind. And from this point on, I have nothing else to say. And Pastor Carroll, Pastor Valerie Carroll, I know you're trying to reach out to me. I know you want to say some things and stuff. I know, it's pressing up on your heart. But until you decide that you want to apologize for your misbehavior, you have nothing to say to me. I don't need to hear no scriptures. I don't need to hear no rants. I don't need to hear anything other than, Brother Edward Joseph, I am sorry for what I have done. And until you come and apologize, you don't need to say nothing to me. Is that all right, Mel? All right, people. So I hope I had said something to encourage your hearts upon tonight. Tune in again next time to an Edward Joseph Let's Talk Live, Edward Joseph Kitchen, Edward Joseph Gospel Hour, Edward Joseph's Blessings Giveaway 2025 will come to you with something wonderful. I love you with the love of Christ, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Peoples, mask up and be safe. And again, peoples, for the people who decided to leave my chat, blessings to you. Peace, harmony, and love. I pray God will be bestowed upon you. For whatever your reasonings is and things, I hold no ill will towards you. And if anything that I had said in my ranting that affects you, then you are the person who I'm talking about. Is that all right? So go in peace, live your life, live love, and be happy. And that is my admonishment to you. God bless you all. Thank you for watching.